Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is well. Got a pandemic treaty update. It is good news. It signifies that the global leaders, some of them are, wary or afraid, or they understand that we're watching because they are watching what we publish. They're watching what we talk about. And so to me, it signifies that people are concerned about signing on to this because they understand the ramifications. And we know that once it's signed, it is a binding document. So they're aware that we are aware. And as I said previously, um, the powers that be understand that we are watching. Their plans are not going the way that they intended, thankfully. So y'all continue to keep watch, keep sharing information, and talking about what it is that these folks do. All right, so it says efforts to draft a pandemic treaty falter as countries disagree on how to respond to the next emergency. So this was updated on May the 24th, 2024 at 6:38 p.m. And if I'm not mistaken, they're supposed to meet tomorrow on May the 27th to finalize the pandemic treaty. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So it says a global treaty to fight pandemics like COVID is going to have to wait. After more than 2 years of negotiations, rich and poor countries have failed. Hallelujah. No weapon formed against us will prosper. Hey. For now, let's just say for now, we will take the little small victories. It just means our prayers have been answered, the restrainer is still in place, and the adversary will have to wait another day to do his evil doings, to come up with a plan for how the world might respond to the next pandemic. After C-19 triggered once unthinkable lockdowns, upended economies, and killed millions, leaders of the World Health Organization and worldwide vowed to do better in the future. In 2021, member countries asked the UN Health Agency to oversee negotiations to figure out how the world might better share scarce resources and stop future viruses from spreading globally. How about close down these labs that's conjuring up these bioweapons? No talk about that though. And funding them. Stop looking for stuff, children of the corn. On Friday, Roland Dries, co-chair of WHO's negotiating board for the agreement, acknowledged that countries were unable to come up with a draft. WHO had hoped a final draft treaty could be agreed on at its yearly meeting of health ministers starting Monday in Geneva. So they're going to meet in Geneva, Switzerland, beginning tomorrow. Notice it's a holiday for us, so they're going to meet while Americans are out barbecuing and having a good time, enjoying their day off. Pay attention to when these people do stuff, and don't sleep on the fact that this could come up again, just like they do in Congress. They could introduce something, and then the next thing you know, they have an emergency something, and then it's signed. Now, the thing to look for is that they already have a draft. So because they have a draft, if anything drastic happens, it just means everybody's going to just run and ratify it, and you won't know anything because you'll be distracted. So you got to watch these demons. We are not where we hoped we would be when we started this process, he said, adding that finalizing an international agreement on how to respond to a pandemic was critical for the sake of humanity. Dries said the World Health Assembly next week would take up lessons from his work and plot the way forward. And do you use the term plot? I'm concerned. Urging participants to make the right decisions to take this process forward, to one day reach a pandemic agreement because we need it. So that is the end of this piece. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The draft treaty had attempted to address the gap that occurred between C-19 lollipops in rich and poor countries. Well, it wasn't no gaps. The poor countries ain't want it because they already been tagged with all kinds of stuff for decades and centuries. They don't want no more bioweapons. So they said no. Just say no to drugs and gene therapies. But as you can see, the colonizers ain't gonna be happy till everybody gets some poisons up in them. Okay? So it says, who Director General Tedros Adhanom Jesus, I don't know how to say his last name, said amounted to a catastrophic moral failure. Good. I'm so glad it failed. The Most High is working, honey. We are praying and our prayers are being answered. I feel good about it. You should be encouraged. This should strengthen your faith. You should feel really good that those of us who are awakened are on one accord. And as I've been telling you for the last couple of days, they're not going to be as successful as they want to be. They keep trying to get rid of us and it ain't working. And it is a beautiful thing for them to acknowledge that they failed. The truth is coming out. People are feeling emboldened to speak up and say something about the things that are going on. And it is awesome. It's beautiful to see. Addressing a sullen final day of negotiations, the WHO chief insisted this is not a failure. Yes, it is. It is fair. We will try everything, believing that anything is possible, and make this happen because the world still needs a pandemic treaty. No, we don't. The world been in existence forever without a treaty, and now we don't need no treaty. Now we need y'all to stop making stuff though. We need y'all to stop making cooties in these labs. We need y'all to stop putting them out here on us. And we need y'all to stop giving them to African American black people because we not going any place. The Most High already said what he said. And he is standing on his business. He is a man of his word, a person of integrity, and he is going to make sure we are still here. Now, I ain't saying some of us ain't going to get got, but they're not going to be able to get rid of Yah's chosen people. So it says, we will try everything, believing that anything is possible and make this happen because the world still needs a pandemic treaty, he said, because many of the challenges that caused serious impact during C-19 still exist. Yeah, the children of the corn still are out here making stuff. The Accord aim was to set guidelines for how the 194 member countries might stop future pandemics and better share resources. But experts warned there were virtually no consequences for countries that do not comply. Oh, so that's the problem. The co-chairs of the treaty drafting process didn't specify what caused the logjam, but diplomats have said vast differences remain over sharing of information about pathogens that emerge in the sharing of technologies to fight them. The latest draft had proposed that WHO should get 20% of the production of pandemic-related products like tests, treatments, and vaccines and urges countries to disclose the deals with private companies. Earlier this month, U.S. Republican senators wrote to the Biden administration arguing that the draft treaty focused on issues like shedding intellectual property rights and supercharging the WHO. They urged Biden not to sign off. Britain's health Department of Health said it would only agree to the accord if it adhered to British national interest and sovereignty. Meanwhile, many developing countries said it's unfair that they might be expected to provide virus samples to help develop vaccines and treatments, but then be unable to afford them. So they want to get the viruses from these developing nations in South America and on the continent of Africa. But then when the people need the drugs, they can't get them because they can't afford them. So this is just very interesting that these are the arguments, not the fact that they've developed this stuff and there are natural remedies to get rid of everything, but they refuse to use those because they want to use pharmaceuticals, sorcery, pharmakia. So I just want to share this with y'all that, we all should feel good. They're not being successful. Whatever the reasons they give, folks are pushing back and not willing to sign on because we're watching. So the other thing to keep in mind is that they have multiple devices to ensnare us and to create chaos. So while they may be losing on this front, when it comes to that digital economy, the digitalization, the CBDC, the tokenization of assets, that is moving full speed ahead. So, I don't know what the thing is that's going to be the catalyst to throw us into chaos. If this doesn't work, it looks like, possibility of world war, EMP strikes, no power, no water. There are stories all over the internet about different countries about to run out of water and extreme weather. So lots of things are happening. We don't know what the catalyst will be, but we can guarantee a lot of things are going to happen at one time. So we have to take the small victories while we can, and I consider this a victory. Y'all see that serpent? See that serpent? See that? See it? See the European Union, continent of Africa. I don't know what that is over there, but pay attention to the serpent. These people tell us who they are all the time, and we just don't pay attention. So this is also the symbol for the medical community, the American Medical Association, I think. It's what doctors use. That's the symbol for modern medicine, American and European, I think. Anyway, they're not hiding who they are. They're not hiding what they're trying to do. We just have to be aware of their devices and pray against them. Continue to pray that no weapon formed against Yah's chosen people or any people on this earth or that planet who unknowingly are supporting this or who just are not aware of it. Pray that no weapon they form against us prospers. We do not need a treaty to tell us how to handle a pandemic. What we need is the children of the corn to stop tampering with stuff. That's what we need. So that's the prayer. Let no weapon formed against us prosper, and you know counter our enemies' attacks and work on our behalf because they busy. They don't stop. They do not stop. All right, y'all. This is Marty K. Love y'all, and I'm out.